Hey guys, it's TaysGreenLife with Anna and Mary. Um is it Anna? Anna was Anna Lee Leonard? Is that correct?
Leonard.
Leonard.
Yep.
uh, it's so bad because I'm so bad with names. And then so how did you guys meet?
Oh, how
We
did we originally meet? We met a couple of times before we actually started playing together.
Mary, I have to be honest with you. I go face blind at social events. So, I like you were on my radar when you were playing with um Matt Davis, who plays guitar for me now. He does his own solo music stuff, and Mary hopped on his band, and like you looked familiar, but I could not tell you if we actually had met or not. I think the first concert that I saw of y'all when we were playing together, I went up to you and I was like, I don't know if we've ever met in person, but we like followed each other on Instagram and stuff.
Yeah, we were originally mutuals on Instagram, but like Anna said, her now guitar player Matt, he has his own solo project, and I am the bassist for his solo project. And we for Matt's first headliner show, Anna was one of the opening acts, and
Mhm.
that is how we sort of actually met in person for the first time, I think. That's the
I
first time
think.
I remember meeting in person, at
Okay.
least.
I'm glad that we're on the same page with
We're on
that. I don't
yeah,
think it makes me nervous because I feel like I've met like so many people in the scene, but I don't know their names. I like might not
that's
know
me.
them if I saw them again.
Yeah, I'm bad with names. Like I'll read a name and I'm like, I'm not even gonna try.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no, if I
The
read it, it's
faces.
like no.
So what kind of music do you say would you think you play?
Um, it's like indie rock or indie pop, teeters the line, depending. Definitely just like mellow, easy listening stuff.
Yeah, Taylor, I know that you do a lot of work with like more metalcore, hardcore bands.
Yeah.
This is definitely more easy listening indie pop,
Yeah.
very akin to like Phoebe Bridgers, Julian Baker, Lucy Dacus, like that kind of thing, I would say.
That's cool. Yeah, I was actually listening to some of it on Spotify. By the way, and Anna, your voice is beautiful. It's so beautiful. I was listening to it and I was like, "Oh, girl, yes." And then
Thanks.
Mary, you play the bass. That's cool as fuck, dude. Like that's insane. How does something like that happen? Like, how did you get into that?
So I've been playing piano since I was like four, and for me, I guess it was really easy to pick up bass from learning the piano first, just because I feel like that's a great baseline instrument to play. But I actually, my first band that I was ever in, I was 12, and it was my mom's band. That was the first band that I was ever in. And then I did a couple of different music projects with some friends in high school and early college. But the first two bands that I've been in that have actually like really done stuff and played shows and have been pretty consistent would be Matt's band and Anna's band. But I'm a multi-instrumentalist, but I've always
Okay.
stuck with the bass because I feel like it's what I can do the best.
So you guys played at the Camel. Was that the first time for you guys, or
That was the
It was
first time together.
yeah, it was the first time that Mary had played with me. I played at the Camel the first time in early February of last year. I've been like playing in the scene for like around a year, a little over a year. I think the first thing I did was like VC Festival, which was just
yeah?
horrible. Like I want to say horrible, like it was for like a benefit. So it was like good to do it.
Yeah.
And they raised a lot of money, but I like don't know if I can count that as like a thing. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's cool because you did something for the community, and that's what really matters,
Well,
honestly.
I didn't really do anything for the community.
Like,
I just showed up and did what I did.
that's great. You're humble about it. Um, So you guys said Matt Davis. Who exactly is Matt Davis? And how was it to play with him?
How did I know that Matt was going to end up being like such a crucial part of this
I
podcast,
know.
even though he's not even in it? Oh, he's gonna eat this up, Anna.
Matt,
going.
Matt is our very egotistical friend.
Yes.
No, Matt's great. Matt's great. He has been making music for a while. He's got a lot of music out, like on streaming and everything. But he has like really started taking his solo stuff more seriously this year. He put out an album in late 2021. And it's great. He definitely is like where I teeter the line of indie rock and indie pop, he's more of like indie rock. So definitely some like classic rock influences in his stuff. But yeah, he's everyone just like knows Matt for some reason.
I've actually never met him.
Awesome. This
So
is
yeah,
incredible
we're
for
here.
me.
This is so
sent him a
new.
friend request because I was like, maybe I should just like reach out. But other than that, I was just like, I don't know who he is. So
Yeah.
because I'm trying to like teeter out of metal. I'm not just metal, I'm more like I also do small businesses and like artists. So it's not just music. I just happen to have an easier time talking to people about music than anything else.
Yeah, I
but
saw
I'm
that in
trying
your podcast like description. That like that's so sick.
literally, and it's just like I don't know. I don't know how to get more out to the pop-ups and stuff like that because I also make like candles and products, and I know a lot of people that make t-shirts, and both my roommates are like business owners.
Oh
So like
wow.
all of us are constantly creating stuff in our house to sell at like pop-ups and stuff. And so coming out of like just being from metal into more pop is like really cool to me. Not really pop, but indie. Because I don't just listen to metal. I listen to in all sorts of like genres and stuff like that. So it's cool to talk to you guys about it.
Yeah, I was curious, like what other stuff do you listen to?
So I do like a lot of EDM, and I do like pop music. I don't know why. I'm always listening to like things that are so catchy. I'm always
Mhm.
like catching on to stuff, but there is like also like I would consider it indie, like I guess movements. Um, if one of like a good influence to me, the way like you hear his like sadness in his music and the way he uses it. Like I was listening to your music and I was like, oh my God, I love this. Like I have not like I have not
Nice.
really like listened to anything like this before. And it was a cool eye opener and I appreciate it.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it. But
Because
that's
like
cool to hear.
like metal just it seems to be really big in Richmond, but there's also other genres. There's like, EDMs going on. There's the indie rock scene. There's the what do you call them? Like it's like beachy music. Like
Yeah. Like beach rock.
sublime kind of
Yeah,
feel.
yeah.
Yeah. So like kind of like this Space Koi. If you guys have
Yeah.
heard of Space Koi.
Yeah.
But yeah, I more stick to like softer music, or I go from really heavy to where my ears are like, "The hell are you doing?" Like I don't know if you guys see my the Fleetwood Mac and the Runways.
I have been looking.
Yes, I have a local band back here, Rivals, which are from
Oh,
California. Yeah, and they came to Richmond.
cool.
No, they came to Virginia Beach, and I met up with her because I was like, "Bro, she's awesome." Um, and Magdalene, they're like into the rock scene. She's wonderful. I love her. She preaches about mental health like crazy. Her name's Susanna. I haven't really talked to a lot of females, really, as
Yeah.
much as I would like, because yeah, I mean, there's not really a lot of females in the metal scene if you think about it. It's more
Yeah.
like a man genre. So like I want to be more feminine. I want to listen to more feminine music.
And
I
also
I
honestly goes for other genres too. I
Yeah.
mean, like the genre that we play in can tend to be very cisgender white male dominated.
Yep.
yeah. I definitely agree. I think that like even you just talking about all the different communities in Richmond, like that touches on like what a cool spot we're in for music right
Yes.
now and like how special I think Richmond is. And I think in a lot of ways it fails because like I'm not even talking about like what people want to perform, like what actual musicians are doing here, but like the interests of the community are so like there's so many special like niche interest groups in the world of music here, and it kind of sucks that all of the not all of the shows, that's not fair, but like a large majority of the shows are like heavier music that's male dominated, and there's not very much wiggle room there.
Yeah, because then they'll be like, I'll go to shows and they're like, why are you talking to me? Like, what is your interest in me? And I'm like, because I like the music. Like, that's the only reason. Like, not because I want, like, I don't want to be a groupie. I don't want to be considered that. I don't want to like jump from band to band. I want to like just be friends with everybody because I genuinely like the music. I genuinely like the scene. Like they come together and they build a huge community, and that's amazing. There's so many communities in Richmond, and all of us need to like combine forces to make Richmond just this big, huge community full of positivity. And there's not a lot of women that are like out there doing it because most of the men are already doing it.
I think it's hard, and the like it seems very impermeable, and I mean Richmond also has like a stellar hip hop and rap scene that like is breeding so many cool artists that I'm seeing like a straight pipeline of them leaving the city, like doing shit here, but like realizing this is not the place for them, and that sucks.
Yeah.
Because like as much as I could sit here and be like, oh wow, sucks for me, like I'm a little white girl who wants to do my music and be on stage, like whatever, like it's annoying that it's been tedious for someone like me when like that's stupid. Like I'm not the type of person that it should be that hard for. Like not that it terrible soundbite right there. But like you know what I mean? Like there's so much room to grow, and it's so clear by the fact that like I'm here complaining. Like that's lame.
I think it's based on like who you surround yourself with and like the type of networking you do as well. So if you're like going after someone you don't see like leaving Richmond, then of course you're not really gonna like, you know, build up. You have to be with people that are willing to put in the work and the effort and push themselves past those barriers. And I've seen a lot of women do it, like Spirit Box. Courtney LaPlante, she used to be in I Wrestle a Bear once, the second singer of that band, and she does these crazy vocals, and I'm like, I look up to that, like that's crazy. And then like
I saw Spirit Box at Blue Ridge, and she kicked it.
And there was something wrong with her sound or something. I think that's what someone told me, and she just fucking killed it anyway. Like I don't care, I fucking kill it. Like, and it shows other little girls like if she can do it, I can do it too. And I think there was like I forgot her name, but she was probably 12, and she did like not America's Got Talent or some Britain's Talent or whatever. And she did one of the Spirit Box songs, and Spirit Box was like, come on stage, come to our shows, let's get you on. And that is like inspiration. That's the inspiration I want in like, you know, in society today. I want little girls to look up to us, or anybody to look up to us, little boys or whoever to look up to us and be like, wow, they're pushing past barriers that no one thought we could do, you know?
Yeah, I think it's hard to see that and see like the benefit in pushing and pushing. And for me, honestly, it has been easy. Like I have not had to book that many shows for myself. I've had like enough music friends to where like in the past year, out of how many shows I've played, like I've probably booked 2 for myself, of like me reaching out to a venue and like asking to play there. Whereas like I've been really lucky with the opportunities that I've gotten. And so it's, I think the saddening part, it's not that like it's so hard to get there, because also like you try long enough, people will know who you are and put you in a lineup, you know? Like they throw no-name bands in every local lineup, you know? Like none of us are famous. Like we don't have to be like that picky and choosy. But I think it's just like when you show up to these places and you are playing and you look around and you see no one around that looks like you. And I'm gonna say this like 1,000 times, it's so lame that I'm saying that. Like that me, the way that I look and the way like the kind of I don't know. It's just it is disheartening. And but I think in the world of like metal and harder music, it's like that much more difficult to like walk in a room and like I have walked into green rooms and no one has even looked at me and like it just feels like so demeaning and weird.
Yeah.
And I'm
I get
sure
interrupted like a lot. I'll be like
yeah.
standing next to someone and I'm like standing waiting to talk to them and then they interrupt me and I'm like, but I'm trying to do the same thing you're doing, networking. Come on.
Yeah. Do you make
And you
music?
know,
Sorry, I'm interrupting.
What did you say?
Sorry, do you make music?
I do not.
Okay, I was curious about
I can sing a little bit, but I wouldn't.
that. Okay, cool.
I
So,
learned how to play like I played the guitar and the drums, but it's just like I didn't like pick up on it. And so I'd rather write and talk to people about music and be part of the scene elsewhere. Um like because going to shows, like I'm buying merch, I'm driving, putting gas in my car to support a band that can use that money to feed them. I'm putting out exposure and I'm putting them on social media. I'm getting their logos out. And the only benefit I get from it is people are starting to know me and watch my content because
mm,
of who I go see. And like I'm open to anything at this point. Like music is music, except for country. I will not go country. Will not do it. But I like live music. I feel like it's a cool place to be, especially in the crowd. It's my favorite part. Yeah. And then like it helps you guys out, like seeing people in the crowd, seeing people wanting to talk to you and listen to your music and just actually just looking up to you and going, wow, that's so badass that they're doing that. Like, that's cool. Just awkwardly sit here. We can go back to some more questions. What are some of
okay.
your influences, Anna?
Sorry, what did you say?
What are some of your influences?
Oh,
Everybody, both everybody. We talk to
um,
everybody.
I for me, right now, Samia is the my probably my like biggest influence. She just put out a sophomore album and is like really breaking some barriers with like in the world of indie, and it's like really sick to see. And I've also been a longtime fan of Phoebe Bridgers, the Boy Genius Girls, Phoebe, Lucy Dacus, Julian Baker, and then I also really love Japanese Breakfast, and like she, like they are definitely a major influence on the stuff I make, as well as Snail Mail, who's been around for a while, but she's so young. It's crazy. I don't know. People really climb the ladder so fast.
There was this like I consider it like dad rock metal. But they're from like Mexico, I think, and they're called The Warning. And they're all sisters, and all of them like I think the oldest one is 21. And like they play guitar, they play the drums, they have a singer, and they're all like girls. And I'm like, wow, they must have been doing this for a while now. Like they must have started really young. And
Yeah.
that also makes me happy that they had that support to do that. You can't be where you need to be without the support of others. um like without, I mean, if you don't have the support of your family, oh well, there's still people out there that will support you regardless, because you put the effort in and the work, and people will reward you. They'll share your stuff, and then you'll get out and you won't be in Richmond forever. And I think that's the point at some of these artists. They don't want to be in Richmond anymore. They want to get out and see the world and play in different places, and
Mm.
go to the UK. Like that's cool.
Yeah. Mary, who are your influences?
I don't write stuff, Anna. I just
Oh,
play it.
but for how you play,
Yeah.
like your
For how
style
I
of
play,
playing
I mean, my
and what you
parents are both
like.
my parents are both in their 60s, so I grew up with very much dad rock influences, but they were both also in the 80s, they were in metal bands. So my mom actually was a metal bassist for a very long time in her 20s. My dad played guitar. So I grew up listening to Zeppelin, Floyd, the general dad rock Rush, and but also with a little mix of like Metallica,
Yeah.
Voivod, Anthrax, that kind of stuff. But as I got older, for sure, I got more into other genres, which kind of led me towards the indie kind of path. I do like Houndmouth a lot. I saw them open for Greta Van Fleet, and I really like the way that they play. And I actually really do like Tyler Childers. He definitely leans more towards country, but not in like a pop country way. Very
It's
much
like
in like
bluegrass,
it's like
Americana.
Yeah.
a bluegrass folksy kind of thing. I'm very into like the folksy kind of stuff. Um, but yeah, like even going off of that, I think that every single band that I listed just now is entirely men.
Yeah, I was like saying like because I was like, oh, Movements and The Basement and all these other band like ugh, what was
It
it?
was hard for me growing
Yeah.
up listening and seeing all the, because like Zeppelin and Floyd
Yes.
and like the Who and stuff, they have like those like concert movies. And so I would watch those. And it's just like it was hard being a musician growing up, being raised by musician parents who wanted me to play so badly and seeing that every single band that they looked up to or I looked up to is just four white guys. Like that's I mean, the Beatles, Zeppelin, Rush, white guys.
Yes. That's like I'm just like I get it, but let's make more room for women now. Like it's time. Like let us be the inspiration, the new faces of rock. I mean, you got Janis Joplin. That you got her. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
I
that
yeah.
sucks.
Yeah. My partner actually is John Francis from Vilified, who I think that you've actually interviewed before.
I love
But
Vilified.
yeah, but even when I tag along to their shows, if they're playing like a show with a big bill with like a lot of lineup, it's like, oh, there's four white guys, they got off stage, and then it's like, oh, there's four more white guys, they're the next band. Oh, there's three white guys, there's four
There's a
more.
metal band I listen to called Victims. And they have a
I've
female
heard.
drummer. Yes.
That's very cool.
And I'm like, that's dope, dude. So cool.
Yeah.
See,
Even
and
with
that
like
sucks.
Era or Ara. Era, yeah. ERRA.
yeah, Era.
No, not them. No, make them suffer. They have a woman on the piano and she does some singing and like that's cool. And then obviously Spirit Box, but then you got to think of like Flyleaf, Paramore, um,
Yeah, the only issue
things
that I
I
have
grew
with
up
that is
with.
that
Yeah.
it seems like those are like the token bands that have a girl front or something
Yeah.
like that. Even in our side of the scene here, it's hard for me to even think of like any women that I know that are in the only like I jammed with this person, Kylie Woods, for a while, who was the guitarist slash singer for Terminal User Guide, which has since broken up. But and then there's the bassist for Destructo Disc, I think, is also female, if I'm remembering correctly. But like, it's genuinely hard for me to like think of a band that has a female person in it.
I mean,
It
there's you
just,
guys now. Like,
I mean, Anna before I joined was playing with three guys,
well, yeah,
and it was just
yeah.
Yeah.
um,
And now I'm playing with three guys and and Mary.
me.
But I like this.
yeah.
I totally agree with what you're saying, Mary. Like it feels very like token and like I don't know. It's just so lame that we're like, oh well, Janis Joplin. Oh well, like Paramore. Like
Like
that sucks.
we shouldn't have to be
That
pulling
sucks.
examples out of nowhere,
Yeah,
It's like
yeah. Or like
there should be a
qualifying
conglomerate.
these people's existence. Like
Yeah.
Mary and I have been in like so many shows where like no other women are in the room. And also, I don't think we can even talk about this without talking about like the lack of space for queer people in like specifically in these like rock genres and metal genres, like, and hip hop, rap. Like, I think
Yes.
I've turned to indie music so easily because I have been able to find so many queer people and like other women, people of color who are being given the spotlight for the first time in a
Yes.
genre, like a main spotlight. Like obviously there's still room to grow, but like I feel like that's been such, like, it's provided a lot of solace for me, and like continuing to work through this genre and knowing like, oh, okay, I've seen this person, this person, this person, this person, like countless people who like don't fit the don't fit the usual suspect of these genres for the past however many years, you know? Like I'm seeing all these people break through and make a name for themselves, and that makes me feel like I can also do it. So it like provides me inspiration in this field, but I can see where it would be incredibly more difficult for other people in other fields and like or other
People
genres of
say there
music.
isn't a problem in the metal scene, but I've seen it. I've seen it multiple times.
I don't know how there couldn't be.
Like metal is so male dominant. Like it's angry white men yelling, you know? But then you have to think there are some African American men out there screaming. There's like Hispanics screaming out there, but I'm like, where women? Where's the women?
I think it's just that these like people are not being given a space to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're not being encouraged to pursue this. Like I have been so lucky. I have always been encouraged to pursue music, pursue creative outlets. And like the way that I identify and the way that I look does not really affect it. Like in a room, do I feel lonely? Often, yeah. Like in a room at these shows, yeah, sure. But it has been easy for me. Like this has not been a hard feat for me to like
Yeah.
get these shows, whereas like, but also like I maybe have the confidence already of like I believe in the stuff that I'm doing, and if people offer me a show, I will accept it. Like I'm able to put myself out there because I've been told that I have a space here to do this, where so many other people who do not look like the three of us like do not have a space to do this.
This is true.
I think that's like a really important part of this conversation is like we can sit here and be like, it really big time sucks that like I want to see more representation of myself, but like I have so many friends in music who struggle because they do not have a single person who looks like them in their community who is doing this and encouraging them, because like that isn't like, you need inspiration, you need role models like that. And I'm not talking about like on a grander scale, like all of the indie people I named who are like my inspiration, like sure they are my inspiration, but I also have a bunch of friends in my community right here doing the same shit as me, and I'm seeing them like be successful, and I know that there's a space for me here in Richmond,
like on the local level.
Yeah. And I think that's what Richmond is really lacking right now, and why it's been frustrating even for us.
Yeah, and it's just like some people just don't want to change, or there's a lot of people that are also scared to say things, like have an opinion, even if it's not like the same sex or the not same sex and all that. Like that is something that definitely does matter, but it's also people who have different political views too. Like a lot of political, you don't want politics and like metal, most of politics and metal is like angry, F the government, overthrow the government. But then like if you look to it, nobody actually follows through. They can't really say I want to really overthrow the government, because then then someone's gonna come knocking on the door like, hey. Like that's also, I feel like, is a problem too. Like we say we're free, but are we really free? Like I don't believe so. I don't think us as a country is free anymore. I don't believe women are free. I don't believe anybody's free anymore, regardless of the color on their skin or who they want to love or who they want to become. You know, it's all of us are losing our rights day by day, and it sucks. And we just have to keep like pushing through that and pushing the fact that there is this outside like darkness coming out, and we're trying to like bring this positivity light to, you know, all these scenes, but there's still that darkness in the back that needs to be worked on too. And I feel like combining a community and coming together is important too. Like without a community, you can't do anything. You can't stand up, you can't have an opinion, you can't have anything.
Yeah, and that's why I really tend to admire people who are in minority groups, whether that be minorities in a religious, gender, ethnic, racial, sexuality background, who have kind of gone and like made these communities for themselves. Like my friend Guinevere is the bassist for a band called Echo Astral, which is actually a purely trans feminine band based out of DC. And watching the way that they have created that space for them and for people around them and how far they've come with that is incredible. And they've basically just stood there and been like, you know, this is who we are, take it or leave it. And they've created this entire like identity based on it and made something with it. And I think that kind of thing is just incredible.
Yeah, I think you're touching on something really important. Like I think part of it is our continued responsibility to help to make space for other people. And like especially in creating anything. Like this is like a universal, yes, we need to make space no matter what, but like I think in the world of creation and art, like that's how you really connect with communities. And so we need to offer a space. And so like that's wonderful that they were able to do that. Now it's like, who are our friends that we can throw on a bill with us? Literally. Like who are people that we can turn to and say like, hey, I would like to work with you. I see what you're doing. It's incredible. Come play with me. Like, I think that's now, like, that's the goal now, is like less focus inward, more focus on community.
Like, yes, you got to be good on the inside too, but it's also the people around you too. Like, if you're not like around good people, your outcome won't be good. So you have to force yourself to like tell yourself that, hey, I might be some of the problem. So maybe I should move away from people and move away from those toxic cycles, those toxic people. And most of the time, a lot of people in the scene don't flock around toxic people anymore. They get canceled, and then, you know, and it's cool that it sucks we have to cancel people, but at the same time, like we can't be around like that negativity, you know, like sorry, those beliefs just don't sound right to me. Like I don't want to be associated with you. And like people have to be open too. Like open with their opinion. Like everyone else has a different mindset than you. They're not you, you know? And like being around people that have the same mindset and the same thoughts and the same like movement. Like I want to hang out with business people. I don't want to hang out with like people who don't want to do something in their lives, you know? And that's important too. Nobody talks about that. Like it's the people you surround yourself with, not even like the type of music, the type of places. It's just the people, you know?
Yeah, and that's something, touching on that, that's something that Matt kind of did with his solo project when he really decided that, not to make this all about Matt again, but when Matt really decided he wanted, he'll be very excited to hear this. When he decided to kind of move forward with his solo project and make it into a thing, he was really actively seeking out people from different backgrounds, people who basically not just making it another project full of cisgender white men, you know, cis straight white men. He really, you know, so that's why he kind of reached out to me. He reached, our keyboardist is also female. He really wanted people from all walks of life to kind of make that room for them and like create opportunities for people who like otherwise would may have a hard time breaking into this side of the industry, you know?
Yeah, that was really awesome. I remember he was talking to me about it and he was like, how do I phrase this without sounding like creepy or weird? Like how do I post on Instagram and say, hi, queer people and femmes and people who don't look like me, do you want to be in a band? Like I remember him like talking
Yeah,
about this,
because he was
how
so
many
worried
people?
that it would seem like he just wanted the girls, like he wanted
Yeah,
girls in the band to be like surrounded by girls, but he literally
yeah,
he truly just wanted to make it an environment full of
Yeah.
like a very diverse and an inclusive environment. And I think that that's really great of him to try to open that space to other people,
It's
because
important.
honestly, that's what broke me kind of into the scene playing, because for a long time I was a spectator in this scene. I was very much, I went to the shows, I was friends with people in the bands, but I did not play because it was hard for me to break into the scene and really get a spot playing with anybody, because everybody in the bands, cis straight white man, you know? And so when Matt was like, hey, I'm looking for people from different walks of life for this kind of project, I was like, I am so in. And I never would have made it into Anna's band. Like I never would have really gotten that connection and been able to play with Anna if it weren't for me being in Matt's band to begin with in the first place as well. So, you know, making that space for people and creating that environment to allow them to break into the industry will open them up to so many other things too.
and Lulu is in the same position as you, so it's
Yeah, our
like
keyboardist Lulu, same exact deal.
yeah.
And
She
I think
wanted to
that's
play.
important. Yeah, I think that's important. Creating the space and making the environment open to other people and other diversity and different sounds. Like it isn't just black and white. It's every color, everything out there. It's everybody, and it should be for everybody, not just certain people and certain genres and certain things. Like, and I think that was important. You guys coming on here and talking to me because I want more women. I love the metal and the men. I love my men, but at the same time, I'm like I want more fins. Like you guys don't like the men don't understand the difficulty it is to be in this type of scene. Like they don't it's easy for them. They don't understand like yes, I'm a white female, but I'm also a female. Like it's hard for us females out there. It's not easy. We're scared constantly. We're like I'm scared to go to shows alone because what if that's one time I go to a show alone, somebody grabs me or does something to me. And that's a fear that I have to live with because I'm like, I want to go to shows and feel safe, but there are people out there that don't want that, and it's sad.
Yeah, and there are women who I'm sure, and I'm not saying this in a way that like,
Yeah.
the bands that I've been talking about are purposely trying to push people of different backgrounds out. Like they're not. It's just that
Yeah.
I feel like everybody in this scene could be making more of an effort to make space. Whereas, it's not that they're purposely trying to keep it a certain way. But, like in me and Lulu's case, if Matt had never looked for people like us to be in a band with him, we probably wouldn't be in bands right
Yeah.
now.
Wouldn't. And it's
It's
for
not.
the opportunity. Yeah. If it wasn't for the opportunity, you wouldn't be here doing this or talking to me or, putting yourself out there if it wasn't for other men agreeing with us, like agreeing like, hey, maybe we should add some more, feminine, to it. We are getting a little close to the end. I love everything. I would love to do another episode talking all the Finn stuff. I love it. Um, guys, make sure you check out Mary and Anna Lee. Follow them on Instagram. I'll put all the links. Not Instagram, Spotify, everything. I'm gonna put all the links in the description. You follow, share, whatever you need to do because these ladies need it. And it was a great time talking to you guys.